Welcome back. We kickstart a brand new week with plenty of stocks to talk about. First on our radar is Titan. Let's find out how the business update was this time around. Mangalam is here to tell us more. Mangalam, morning.
Good morning. So, Titan for the third quarter, the street was anticipating strong growth given the festive season as well as the wedding season as well. The company reported a 23% growth in their jewelry business. The street was anticipating a little more than that. Why is that? Because same time last quarter, the company grew by about 11%. So this makes the 2-year CAGR at around 16.8%. For perspective, Kalyan Jewelers grew around 25%, and Titan's own growth in the second quarter, despite Adhik Maas and Shravan, etc., was 19%. So maybe hopes for the third quarter were a little higher. Additionally, the company said that growth in plain gold was higher than studded, so that may impact margins in the third quarter as well. But what's good is watches and wearables grew by about 21%, Carat Lane grew by about 31% itself. Eyewear declined by 3%, so that's a bit of a concern. And emerging businesses, which have been very fast growing, have grown just around 24% itself. The stock is at near all-time high, so mild disappointment may leave some room for a bit of downtick.
Okay, all right. Thanks a lot for that, Mangalam. Well, I'm looking at Tata Steel, and they came out with their operational update. It normally doesn't move the stock too much, but the India business numbers look quite good, so that's what I'm expecting a move in the northward direction. Let's run you through the numbers first. We're looking at the deliveries data first up. And the India business, well, out there, you had on a sequential basis as well, there was some growth. So I like that. And they say that they've delivered their best ever Q3 number, so that's good. In addition to that, the domestic business has done well. And within the domestic business, you have the automotive as well as specialty products business that's grown by close to 8%. The entire numbers grew by close to 3%, but this automotive and special products is up 8%. So that's good on the margin. So that's positive out there. The Netherlands business, they continue to struggle because they had the realigning of one of their blast furnaces. But on a sequential basis, there is some mild improvement telling you that things are coming back to normalcy. So that's good news. UK, though, continues to struggle because demand is, quite subdued out there. So all in all, I think these numbers, they're more good than bad. That's why I'm going with some green. But Mangalam, coming back to you, Nykaa as well as Godrej Consumer, they came out with their operational updates. How do you read that?
Well, for Godrej Consumer, it is a decent performance. Why do I say that? Because it's not very different from the second quarter. On a consolidated basis, the company will report mid-single-digit volume growth. Low single-digit sales decline largely because of currency depreciation in Africa as well as LATAM. Importantly, the margins for the company will expand year on year, and that will continue as it has in the last couple of quarters. India, the operating environment is similar to the second quarter. Despite that, the underlying volume growth organically has been mid-single digit, and reported volume growth, largely because of the Park Avenue acquisition, will be in double digit. So that's a positive. Indonesia is also coming back in style. Reported double-digit volume growth and high single-digit sales growth out there. Africa had flattish to mildish decline, and that's because the company is restructuring the business out there. So that was pretty much anticipated. As far as Nykaa is concerned, good performance coming in from their beauty and personal care business as well. Mid-20s sort of GMV growth and 20% net sales value growth. The fashion business, which has been a growth driver for the company, has grown around 40% on a gross merchandise value business and almost 35% on net sales value business as well. So overall, the revenues for the company have grown at around 20-odd%, and that should be a positive.
All right, Mangalam, thanks very much for that. Let's move on from FMCG and consumer businesses to banking. Federal Bank has got an important update with regards to sort of top management and what may happen there from here on. Ritu's got more details, updating us on Federal Bank. Ritu, morning.
Good morning, Prashant. Shyam Srinivasan has would have helmed Federal Bank for 14 years when his current term ends later in September this year. And it is unclear at this point whether he will be able to continue as MD and CEO beyond that. And that is simply for the reason that the RBI wants the bank to undertake succession planning. Now, in October last year, the bank had written to the RBI seeking a 1-year extension for Shyam Srinivasan until 2025, keeping in mind that overall cap of 15 years for bank CEOs that RBI has set. However, RBI in its response to that letter has neither said a yes or a no to that request for extension. It has written a very short letter stating that the bank must send a fresh proposal indicating at least 2 fresh names for an MD and CEO candidate, keeping in mind the longer-term interests of the bank, and the board has taken this letter, on board, and it is now proceeding with the same. Now, we've been speaking to our sources to understand why this response from RBI, and it seems, that even if Shyam Srinivasan is granted an extension, he can only continue for only 1 more year, given that 15-year cap. And so, for the stability of the management and in the longer-term interests of the bank, RBI wants to consider fresh candidates as well. There's no other reason, why the RBI may not want to grant an extension to Shyam Srinivasan. In terms of who the internal candidates could be, the obvious names are Shalini Warrior and Harsh Duggar, who are currently EDs of the bank and are seen as names that could be considered by the board when it prepares that list to be sent to the RBI.
Okay, all right, Ritu, thanks a lot for that update and belated happy birthday. Hope you had a good one over the weekend, Ritu. Well, going back to Mangalam, he's the busy man today. Plenty of operational updates coming in there. Mangalam, tell us about Marico as well as Adani Wilmar.
Well, for Marico, it's a slightly softish update. Why do I say that? Because again, the consolidated revenue for the company declined in low single digits. At the same time, domestic volumes too grow in low single digits as well. This at a time when most companies are reporting mid to high single digit volume growth. It's the Parachute coconut oil business which registered low single digit volumes. Saffola had an optically weak quarter owing to a high base and cautious trade sentiment as well. And value-added hair oils, that posted, again, low single-digit value growth. So as a result of which, there is weakness. What's done okay for them is the foods and premium care business, but that has been doing well for them over the last couple of quarters as well. There has to be gross margin expansion, but the company will plow some of that back into advertisements as well. As far as Adani Wilmar is concerned, out here as well, the company said that they reported record volumes, but overall volume growth in the third quarter has been just about 6%, and the decline for the company's revenue has been around 15%. Edible oil, which is the mainstay of the company, out there, the revenues have declined by 21% and volumes are flat. Why is that? Because the company said there was subdued environment in the institutional area. As far as B2C businesses are concerned, branded edible oil, they gained market share. That grew 4%. And food and FMCG, which again has been growing at 40% over the last many quarters, grew just around 28%. So expect some red on both these stocks.
All right, Mangalam, thanks very much for that. Well, Bank of Baroda and Union Bank are the next two companies we're talking about. Abhishek is going to tell us why. Abhishek, morning.
Morning, Prashant. To begin with the Bank of Baroda, they came out with their Q3 FY24 provisional number in terms of business update, and they are struggling for deposits. It's perhaps the only lender to see deposits decline quarter on quarter, and no wonder you saw them recently raise, the short-term deposit rates by as much as 125 basis points. So deposits are up 8.3% YOY and down about 0.3% sequentially. Domestic deposits, they are up only 6.3% YOY. And a decline of 0.6% quarter on quarter. Advances growth, that is also below the system level, coming in at 13.6% YOY and about 2.5% sequentially. In this, the domestic loan growth has been about 13.5% YOY and about 3.3% sequentially. CD ratio has improved both YOY and quarter on quarter, which augurs well in terms of net interest margin remaining on the healthier side. Union Bank of India, strong loan growth seen in terms of sequential performance. Deposits are up 10.1% YOY and about 3.1% sequentially. Domestic deposits are up 8.5% YOY and about 3.05% quarter on quarter. Domestic CASA ratio does declined on a YOY basis but improved on a sequential basis. Advances growth 11.44% YOY and about 5.8% quarter on quarter. In this, the domestic advances were up 10.7% YOY and about 5.5% sequentially. So sequential strong loan growth could work in favor of Union Bank in today's trading session. Back to you.
Okay, sequentially strong loan growth. Thanks a lot for that. So that's on Union Bank. But Vivek is also with us to tell us about Spark and why he's watching that one. Vivek, over to you.
Well, absolutely. So Spark, Sun Pharma advanced. Now, whole of last week, the stock was excited given the fact that the management had indicated a call to be held with analysts on Saturday regarding an update on the treatment plan and the study that they are conducting to treat Parkinson's disease. So the outcome of the call, as well as, the outcome of the study has been quite positive for Spark. So what the company indicated to analysts was that, number one, the phase 2 consultation has been completed, the US FDA as well as other regulatory agencies, which is a positive read-through. Number two, they're saying that the completion of the long-term extension study too has been done. So now going forward, the phase 3 trials will start. Along with that, the company has said that they are looking to finalize and execute a partner strategy. And along with that, the company is looking for further resource mobilization, which includes fundraising. Now, remember, the company requires to go ahead and complete studies required by regulators to go ahead and file for the NDA. So an exciting prospect as far as Spark is concerned. Now, along with that, the company also was part of the JP Morgan Healthcare Conference. They mainly updated about this particular molecule itself, for the treatment of Parkinson's. They also said 2024 offers multiple clinical proof of concept readouts.
All right, thanks a lot for that. Well, here's a quick recap of our top stocks. Stocks with positive news flow. There's Tata Steel, Godrej Consumer, Nykaa, Union Bank and Spark. While stocks with negative news flow, there's Titan, Federal Bank, Marico, Adani Wilmar and Bank of Baroda.